To be the valedictorian of the class of 2024. Growing up, my father raised us to earn whatever we wanted. He would give us rewards for reading certain books, learning certain languages, creating certain projects, and so on. I often recall the time I sat in front of the television for hours watching my favorite shows, and my father walked in and asked why I was spending so much time watching what others created when I could create mine. He made me understand that I could achieve anything I wanted to once I was willing to make the necessary sacrifices. My mother homeschooled my brother and I for a few years of our primary school. She taught me what learning was. It wasn't about reading and cramming for exams, but rather studying and understanding concepts and how to apply them. I remember my first classes, she would ask me to read the cream primer repeatedly, and then she would ask me questions like, as proud as the what? Annoyed, I would reply, as the lion. I didn't understand why I had to read the book that I already read in my former school, and it got me really pissed. My mom would then ask me questions like, why is the lion proud? And what makes the vulture patient? And unsurprisingly, for a 5-year-old, I would have no answer for her. I got eventually mad at myself for not knowing these things, and I decided to make a turn around. Thankfully, my parents kept a huge library in the house. It had over 100 books, maybe even 1,000. I'll read every single book in the house that has to do with animals. When I didn't understand some things, I'll ask my elder brothers to explain to me. In one of the next classes, my mom asked me where dogs live, and I told her that it depends on if the dog was wild or tamed. If we were wild, it would live in caves, and if we were tamed, it would live in a kennel. I remember very explicitly the shock on her face, and it felt very good. My curiosity expanded. I began reading more books, watching informative channels like Discovery Family, and playing games like Lego and Monopoly. My vocabulary became broader, my attention span longer, and my interest for learning about everything I could possibly, grew very wild. It was then that I understood that learning is about applying understanding and not just reading. As my maths teacher, Mr. Allah, would say, if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, this one must enter. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, then you don't know what you're doing. Okay. I got into primary school afterwards, and I would explain to my classmates things like how the solar system worked, and how the concept of money started, and how to calculate things without using their fingers. As far as I was concerned, I was simply gisting my friends, but they thought I was some sort of genius. Later on, I was introduced to this invention that was absolutely new to me. Everyone called it exam, and for some reason it was a big deal in school. I don't recall ever writing it in home school, but I knew I'd get high scores as long as I understood what I was taught in every class. I genuinely enjoyed learning and hence good grades began following. My father would tell us to always walk around with a big question mark on our heads, that we should be inquisitive about everything, and I lived by this. So in September 2021, I wrote an entrance exam into this very school, Charles Christian High School. And that day, Ms. Akman made me make a promise to break the high scores of the school. Ms. Akman made me make a promise to break all the high scores in the school, and I did. I didn't know how difficult the WAEC, JAM, O-level, or A-level was. All I knew was that I had a burning desire to learn and a promise to keep. You know, we always adore people's successes, but most times we won't want to go through what they did to accomplish their wins. It wasn't until I eventually got into this school that I understood the magnitude of my promise. Whoa. I spent countless nights studying. I spent many Saturdays reading and calculating. I set somewhat unrealistic goals and had to push myself and believe I could achieve them. I also had to be denied many luxuries like play football on this very pitch, watching movies, and even gisting my friends. I remember how I spent nights and days studying calculus textbooks that were university level just to understand my further maths. Also how I would force myself off my comfortable bed that I laid very, very raw. My comfortable bed just to complete my daily past questions target of at least one complete year for 4 different subjects every single day. And how I'll sleep in class because I spent all night reading one page of my chemistry textbook over and over again until it clicked. I loved learning about my subjects, but I was getting tired of everything. If I'm being very honest, on several occasions I felt like giving up. I wanted to cancel the exams and just rest. I thought I'd tried. After all, why did I need to write the Cambridge O-level exam in SS1 or A-level in my WAEC and JAM? But I decided that if I wasn't going to do it for myself, then I'll at least do it for my parents that are making sacrifices for me to write those exams, who took out time every day to pray for me. And for my teachers who are present, thank you. And for my teachers every day who are present to make sure we got the highest level of understanding possible, even though it meant they stayed up in school till 4 p.m. and they spent their holidays teaching us. Thank you, Ms. Chinedu, for being patient enough to teach us chemistry and biology, for coming to class a minute before your period every single time, for caring enough to punish on assembly when our nails were unkept, even when your beloved mother and brother passed on, you still showed up for us. You took us by our hands and like a mother, you forced us to succeed, even when we felt you were being forceful on us. We could always count on you, even though we never really said it. Thank you, Mr. Allah, for spending hours with us, teaching us maths, further maths, physics, even though you weren't exactly a physics teacher. For exposing us to ourselves and for always trying to strengthen our weaknesses. You taught the entire school, senior school. You taught WAEC maths, physics, further maths, A-level maths, A-level further maths, A-level statistics, A-level mechanics. But yet, you still had time to come to our class and sit down and gist with us and ask about our well-being. How else can one possibly describe love? We appreciate you for being more than a teacher for us, for also being our friend. We dearly appreciate all your efforts, all the efforts of our teachers, all the efforts our teachers put into building us up, and we promise to succeed far beyond their expectations. Also, I would like to appreciate Ms. Rich, even if she's absent, for being with us through our thick and thin, for spoiling us and for correcting us, for leading us and for watching us, for generally being a mother to us. I fell sick many times while preparing for the exams. I wrote the O-level English paper and WAEC with a terrible malaria, and I failed many of my class tests repeatedly. But you know one bitter truth about true success? Absolutely nobody cares about what happened before the big win. See, don't try. Although I failed my combined science test numerous times in class, I won the Cambridge Award for the highest combined science score in Nigeria. Although I got below 300 in nearly half of the JAMB pass questions I studied alone, I am currently the record holder for the highest JAMB score in this school. Although I had crazy headaches while preparing for the exam marathon, I'm probably the healthiest I've been in months right now. Showers has made a very significant impact on the life of every one of us, every single student here. They have laid a good foundation for us, and our stories would be incomplete without them. As we go on, we promise you that you will never see our brake lights, only excellent news from our whereabouts. Yeah. How can I forget my amazing set mates, the vibe of the school? Yeah, we don't need, this is nice. We don't need Cambridge to tell us that our chemistry together is A-level. You got that. Okay. Fidel, Drella, Tochukwu, I'm talking to the three of you. I miss you guys so much. And the rest of my friends, the entire SS2 sets there, the entire SS2 sets and others, thank you all so much for being a huge part of our lives. Thank you guys for being there for us at our highs and lows, for sharing secrets and memories with us, for playing football and singing during reflection with us, for dancing in church and laughing on assembly with us, for breaking rules and being punished with us, for being by our side throughout, even though we were being difficult, for being chased to school by 7:40 by Anyi on with us, for staying awake till midnight gambling with us, for everything. We will never forget these memories, and I love you guys so much. See, as the valedictorian, a friend, a senior, and a brother, I hereby challenge each and every student coming after us to perform far better than we did. Make all of us proud, and remember, we'll be watching you. Keep in mind that it doesn't matter how you start, but how you end. I urge you all to dare to end well and to thank yourselves later. Now we're done in secondary school. We can afford all the luxuries we couldn't before. We can play football from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. if you want to. We can binge watch a series all day if you want. Heck, we can even watch paint dry if you want. We have already paid the price for it. And when we get into uni, we will switch back to study mode. But for now, please, nobody should disturb us. I sincerely appreciate the school for this opportunity. I thank my fellow students for the memories we have spent together. It said that we should save the best for the last, so I'd like to end my speech. It's a long overdue vote of thanks to the singular reason I'm making this speech in the first place, Mrs. Akpan. Okay.
Oh, she's there.
Yeah. Thank you, ma, for supporting us. Thank you for holding on to the visions for us, even though our hope dwindled. Thank you for being stern enough to discipline us, but yet kind enough to celebrate us. Thank you for showing us that we could be stretched to achieve great things without breaking. Thank you for always being available to spend time with us every Saturday morning, regardless of how early it was. Thank you for exposing us to opportunities and believing and investing in us. Thank you for cheering us on every single step of the way. Really appreciate you. Thank you for being our mom. I pray that God continually bless you. Now, until we meet again at the top, I guess this is goodbye. Thank you.
That's a standing ovation. Can we celebrate him? That's a beautiful valedictory speech. As you are clapping, your own son will be celebrated too. In Jesus' name. I think it's a good point. Please, son, don't go.